Welcome. This is your Tuesday edition of Jamaica Magazine, and I'm your host, Adrian Atkinson. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. So, as is usual, today's lineup promises to be edifying and equally interesting. Stay with us for more. The news follows this message.
The travel pad application was created by the Transport Authority for the protection of the commuting public. Please download the travel pad application on the Google Play Store or the Apple iOS Store. Once you download the application, put in your phone number, register the application under your phone number, and then you'll be able to verify the license plate that you're going in. Once you verify the license plate and the information of the vehicle, you will then be able to share that trip of the vehicle that you're in. And if there is difficulty on the trip, you would then will be able to push a panic button and share your location with others as well. Download the application, give us our feedback at customerservice@ta.org.jm. Don't forget, it's free to download, free to use.
Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Tuesday, August 16, 2022. The Jamaica Constabulary Force has added 120 newly trained police constables to its cadre of crime fighters. They will add to the force establishment, which currently stands above 12,000 for the first time in the more than 150-year existence of the JCF. During the recent passing out parade, certificate and awards ceremony held at the National Police College, National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang urged the new police personnel to be true to the mission of serving the Jamaican people with dignity and due care.
Whenever you step out in the public domain, you're an autonomous, independent legal official who has personal liability and responsibility for your actions and inaction. In order to carry out your duties effectively, you must be unbiased, impartial, and accountable to your actions at all times.
Specialized areas of training for the graduates included gender-based violence and general rights-based approaches to policing. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the new Gated Communities Act is in the final stage of drafting and will go before Cabinet soon. The Prime Minister gave the update on Friday as he handed over 63 housing units at Industry Cove Manor in Hanover.
That will give a little bit more control over communities like these. Communities like these, the value is only preserved if each homeowner preserves the value of their property. So I'm urging you, abide by the rules set by the community organization. You should do everything to preserve the value of your investment.
Industry Cove Manor is a national housing trust development that consists of 23 detached two-bedroom units and 40 two-bedroom townhouses spread across 12.5 acres of land. The two-bedroom units were sold at a cost of $17.89 million each, while the townhouses each cost $18.72 million. Jamaica's spice industry is to be amplified by a $20 million grant. It will be dispersed over a 5-year period by the United States Department of Agriculture under the Food for Progress program. U.S. Ambassador to Jamaica Nick Perry made the disclosure during a recent courtesy call on Agriculture Minister Pernell Childs Jr. at the ministry's offices in Kingston. Jamaica is one of 10 countries selected for the grant this year, which will be awarded this month. It comes against the background of an exponential growth of the spice industry in the U.S., especially as it concerns ginger, turmeric, and pimento. The initiative will target the marketing and development of products and will promote sustainable and climate-friendly farming to yield best results. Jamaica and the Cayman Islands will be collaborating to boost tourism in both nations. Minister of Tourism Edmund Bartlett recently met with a special delegation from the Cayman Islands to initiate discussions on areas of common interest. Among the areas being examined for cooperation are multi-destination tourism, airlift, enhancing border protocols, rationalizing airspace, and resilience building. Minister Bartlett is to meet with key industry players in Cayman next month to focus specially on multi-destination tourism.
We think that the meeting in Cayman with the IATA in September could be the stepping stone for coalescing our position on elements of multi-destination, but more so looking at airlift and airline collaboration.
The Cayman Islands Deputy Premier and Minister for Finance and Economic Development and Border Control and Labor, Christopher Saunders, says his government is re-energized to see how both nations can build mutual interest.
I think the first step is to get the traffic here, and then we can decide amongst ourselves how best we can share it. But the most important thing is to use this time now to see how the Caribbean can benefit.
The delegation from the Cayman Islands also included Minister of Tourism and Transport, Kenneth Bryan. And finally, visitors to the Hanover Parish Library will be treated to a piece of Jamaica's history. That's thanks to Friday's unveiling of a life-sized statue of the island's first Prime Minister and national hero, Sir Alexander Bustamante. The sculpture is accompanied by 2 storyboards recounting Sir Alexander's contributions to nation building. The project was funded by the Tourism Product Development Company Limited, TPDCO, at a cost of $3 million.
The monuments are there to say, you must never forget. You are a part of a great people, a great struggle. And though the times may be hard now, we're going to overcome. We don't have enough of our monuments. Our history is not fully told. We don't make the connections. We believe we're just existing in this time and that's the end of it. When we die, that's the end of it. Not seeing that we are part of generations.
Sir Alexander was born in Hanover on February 24, 1884. He was instrumental in the labor movement of the 1930s, which led to the formation of unions and political parties, the passage of universal adult suffrage, and later political independence. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
Here's a look back at the work of Prime Minister Andrew Holness this past week in Jamaica House Weekly.
Prime Minister launches 15th Population and Housing Census, calls for political consensus on crime, and hands over houses in St. Catherine and Hanover. You're watching Jamaica House Weekly. I'm Anthony Morgan. At the start of the week, Prime Minister Andrew Holness welcomed news that the United States government would be providing $2 million to set up a cyber center of excellence on the island. The center, which will also serve the wider Caribbean region, was discussed during a telephone conversation between the Prime Minister and U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris. The call was part of the Biden-Harris administration's ongoing efforts to increase engagement with Caribbean leaders. Prime Minister Holness and Vice President Harris also spoke to progress being made on joint U.S. Caribbean committees that were set up in June. The committees are currently looking at short-term solutions for food and energy security, as well as finance challenges confronting the region. During the call with Mr. Holness, Vice President Harris also congratulated Jamaica on its 60th anniversary of independence.
Knowing such crucial information is very important to all sectors when it comes to planning and implementation of socio-economic policies that help in the development process.
The crucial information is data on Jamaica's population size, living conditions, migration patterns, economic activity, and other demographics. Prime Minister Andrew Holness addressed the importance of this data collection as he launched the island's 15th population and housing census last Wednesday. Data collection for this year's census will run from September 12 to December 31, under the theme You Count, Me Count, All We Count. $2.4 billion has been set aside for the exercise, which will be administered by over 7,000 census takers. Wednesday also saw the Prime Minister breaking ground for 30 luxury villas at Villa Ranai in Stony Hill by Pulse Homes. He used the opportunity to call on more private developers to join in government's push to create 70,000 affordable houses.
So we are going to depend on the private sector to fill in the other 70,000 that may be necessary. But the question is, which 70,000? So we have said to the NHD, you have to shift your focus away from the middle and high end to focus exclusively on the lower middle and affordable and lowest income.
At Jamaica House Thursday, the Prime Minister called for political consensus to deal with crime on the island. Mr. Holness made the plea at the public presentation of the National Commission on Violence Prevention. He said that while attempts were being made to establish a framework for cooperation through the Crime Monitoring Oversight Committee, no genuine consensus had yet been reached. Prime Minister Holness expressed hope that the Independent Commission would bring together the views of the political class, coupled with factual data, to implement long-lasting measures to secure Jamaica.
There are some things that you can put in law, but governments change and the priority for enforcement can change, right? So, but you need to have consensus. And once you have that underpinning consensus, then you can really make the change. So I'm using this platform to say to our counterparts in the opposition that let us create a space in which the treatment of violence is not contested politically.
I'm confident that this small investment will be repaid multiple times over by their contribution and what they will do for their country.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness, as he handed over the 84th dwelling under the new social housing program NSHP at Guys Hill in St. Catherine. The 3-bedroom unit was delivered to 17-year-old Delano Tucker and his family. Young Delano came to national attention earlier this year when a YouTube video showing how he managed to cop 9 CXC subjects while living in dark conditions went viral. While in Guys Hill, the Prime Minister announced that going forward, NSHP recipients would be required to sign a social contract. The social contract includes beneficiaries becoming ambassadors of the program. Recipients must also agree to take care of the houses, keep the units within the family even after the beneficiaries have passed, ensure that no violence takes place within the homes, and participate in community life.
The program will develop its own monitoring mechanisms where we will be tracking those persons who have benefited to see exactly how they have utilized this house to change their lives and that of the community. This is not free, and you are going to pay for it by being good examples and good citizens.
By Friday, the Prime Minister was in Hanover, where he handed over 63 units provided by the National Housing Trust NHT. The Industry Cove Manor development, located in Green Island, consists of 23 detached 2-bedrooms and 42-bedroom townhouses on 12.5 acres of land. Mr. Holness revealed that 2 other NHT developments will bring 1,235 units to the parish. He also announced that legislation aimed at managing gated communities would soon go before Cabinet. The Gated Communities Act is reportedly in the final stages of being drafted.
That will give a little bit more control over communities like these. Communities like these, the value is only preserved if each homeowner preserves the value of their property. So I'm urging you, abide by the rules set by the community organization.
Before that, the Prime Minister unveiled a life-size statue of Hanover native, national hero and the island's first Prime Minister, Sir Alexander Bustamante, at the parish library. The statue and 2 storyboards were erected at a cost of $3 million, courtesy of the Tourism Product Development Company.
This monument provides an opportunity for the local community members and other Jamaican citizens and visitors to the island to learn and appreciate the first Prime Minister of Independence and our national hero.
Back in the corporate area Saturday, the Prime Minister participated in the Kingston leg of Discover Jamaica on bike. The event was staged as part of activities to mark Jamaica 60 and involved participants biking from Knutsford Boulevard in the capital to Holiday Inn in the second city. Earlier in the week, the Prime Minister held talks with the Chinese ambassador to Jamaica. The two spoke of increasing the engagement between their countries. Mr. Holness also welcomed a courtesy call paid by Professor Tony Green to discuss intervention and support for the education system and national security. And that's it for Jamaica House Weekly. Be sure to join us next time for more of the news stories coming out of the office of the Prime Minister.
All children deserve positive parenting. Why not pamper us? Be patient with us. Make time to teach us and, of course, play with us. Celebrate milestones with us and don't forget to be our #1 supporter. Do all these things and practice positive parenting today.
Good morning, Paula.
Hi, Delary. How are you?
Hi, I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. Tell me, what are your morning rituals?
Well, my personal devotion or prayers with the family and coffee.
In one sentence, tell us what you do.
Well, as the Commissioner of Revenue Appeals for the Division of the Ministry of Finance, I lead a team that is mandated by law to provide appeals mechanism for taxpayers to settle disputes that may arise from time to time between them and revenue commissioners.
What was the most difficult decision for you this week and why was it difficult?
Well, this week I had to make a people management decision that did not sit well with the rest of the team. It was difficult because it appears as if the decision was causing some people to get what they desire, which undeservedly so, but it was the right decision for the rest of the team. It was in the best interest of the team. Good morning, Stacy.
Good morning, Dr. Juma.
Any messages for me?
Currently.
All right, thanks.
You're welcome.
Has anyone or anything made you feel inspired lately?
Yes, I firmly believe I work with the best team. Their attitudinal response to the corporate vision is just inspiring. And the way they responded, particularly over the last quarter of the last fiscal year, to get us over the proverbial line was just inspiring.
What would you like your legacy to be in the public sector?
I learned early in my life that I'm limited by what I think and believe about myself. And so with that knowledge, I have vowed to always keep an open mind and to push the boundaries. I've led my team that way, and my legacy will be leaving persons behind who are that open-minded and always ready to test the orthodoxy.
Where's the most interesting place your work has taken you?
That would have to be India. I visited India in 2000, where I learned about customs valuation. It was a very thrilling experience. I loved the food and the culture and just the atmosphere there. I would love to revisit that place one day.
And before we go, can you recommend one book you think everyone should read?
One book would be difficult, and so I have two. For your spiritual life, The Purpose-Driven Life by Rick Warren, and for your professional life, The Forgotten Half of Change by Luke de Berbandere.
Okay, thank you so much, Commissioner. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you too. And you too.
Lowering the sodium content in children's diets today can help prevent heart disease later in their life, especially for those who are overweight. Shake the salt habit. Shop smart and cook smart. Use less or no salt when cooking. Try using fresh herbs and seasonings to add more flavor. Limit the consumption of salty snacks. Take the time to carefully read the nutrition labels on food products to identify those high in salt and choose the healthier options. Remember, no more than 2 grams of salt per day from all food sources for children under 11 years of age.
Jamaica, home to millions, a healing experience for some and the ideal business destination for investors. We are a business paradise. Let's explore more of that in this next feature.
Our story is one of resilience, where the versatility and hardiness of wood and the adaptability and openness of water have created a nation that is Talawa. It is this philosophy that has enabled a robust business environment, recognized as the country with the world's highest performing stock market, the best Caribbean country for doing business, the easiest place to start a business and to get credit, #1 in the Caribbean and 8th in Latin America and the Caribbean for cargo movement, the best destination in the Caribbean. This is Jamaica, Jamrock, the place called Yard. This philosophy has birthed a competitive business environment supporting large-scale investments through developments in infrastructure, governance, manufacturing, trade, and logistics and services. With an area of 10,911 square kilometers from north to west and east to south, 150 kilometers of world-class highways traversing woodlands and green fields remain the bedrock of the economy. From there, supporting road networks journey through stories that resonate in the hearts of families. 3 international airports, with the Caribbean's leading Sangster International Airport, and 4 domestic landing strips extend the creative and enterprising spirit of those who call this rock home, all supported by a robust maritime industry. Jamaica's stable democratic governance structure is balanced by strong legislative and executive arms with an independent judiciary. This system facilitates numerous trade and bilateral partnerships that have generated over $6 billion United States dollars in foreign direct investment, or FDI, over the past 10 years. With improved fiscal management, the Green Isle of the Indies is the 3rd largest recipient of FDI inflows in the Caribbean and the 2nd largest in the small island developing states. The country remains a prime manufacturing hub. The natural resources and the supportive framework creates an ideal ecosystem for agro-processing, light assembly and contract manufacturing, fabrication and limestone-based industries. Homegrown conglomerates including Grace Kennedy, Continental Baking Company Limited, Jamaica Producers Group Limited and Red Stripe are several of the brands recognized internationally for excellence. With expanded and upgraded port facilities island-wide, the country is capitalizing on the additional trade opportunities accessible through the docking of post-Panamax ships. These investments have positioned the Port of Kingston as the Caribbean's 2nd largest transshipment and multi-purpose hub. With 51 designated special economic zones, Jamaica is emerging as the 4th global logistics node interconnecting continents and people. With a sustainability approach, the expansion and build-out of economic zones are creating the ideal conditions for attracting global investments. Service with a smile and a no-problem attitude defines the service industry in Jamaica. This sector contributes to over 2/3 of the country's gross domestic product, thus asserting the industry as a key growth area. This is further supported by a cost-competitive workforce. Jamaica remains the largest English-speaking country in the Western Hemisphere. With an enabling infrastructure for investment and growth, this little rock is a business paradise with prime opportunities for swift delivery to consumers and substantial cost savings. So whether it is 19 degrees north or just over 3 hours from the United States mainland, choose your spot. Let's meet and discuss. Where multi-hued seas kiss sandy beaches, palm trees provide shade for notepads, and refreshment is the universal taste of yard.
We need all Jamaicans to know that child abuse is not just an issue for the government, it's an issue for all Jamaicans. So we need everybody to help us to protect our children. If you know of a child who is being victimized, a child who is abused or neglected, just make that report so we can get that child the help they need. Calling or reporting is easy. All you have to do is remember to call 211. If you are an adult, if you're a child, if you are in church, in your community group, wherever you are, once you are aware there's a child who is in need of care and protection, just be the one and call 211.
That's all the time we have for today, but we'll be here again tomorrow, so be sure to join us. You can access even more information on our website at jis.gov.jm. The team here thanks you for your continued viewership and wishes for you a great week. Until next time, I am Adrian Atkinson. Do take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.